I think we're the real banks. I think we're the real banks. I think that, you get funded by a bank, but at the end of the day, it's our money and our risk. And then there's a side effect of that, which is leverage.
I think we should start it with let's discuss why does it take so long to get paid?
I came here to find out why it takes so long to get paid. That is why I'm here. I want to know why.
So I think if you have a contract with a sub and you're obligated to pay them, except you're waiting for payment from somebody else, it puts you in an awkward position from the get-go.
We get it at the convenience of the general contractor sitting above us cutting that check.
Yeah, and it might be done in that convenience because, and the unfortunate part is, you as the mason, we're having a great time. There's no problem whatsoever, but the owner's not paying me because of my steel guy. He's not paying me because of my glass guy. And that has absolutely no bearing on you, but I get one check. I don't get 27 checks. Now you could shorten that 30-day period because at that point it's just accounting because everybody signed off on the payout. That's the way it's supposed to work. Okay. And it might work like that for the first 2-3 payouts on a 3-year project. Because as you get into it, stuff starts happening, people get busy, you still have your review, you don't get that comment, and I'm not blaming architects here, everybody, because they're the only party that aren't here, but you start getting reviews that are taking 5 days, 8 days, 7 days, 10 days. Right. And that pencil copy that was due on the 31st, it's not going in until the 7th.
So really the sub is subject to only being as good as the weakest link in terms of receiving payment, and then also as good as the GC is at doing their job to get paid. So they're kind of, I don't know if I'm saying that accurately, but it's essentially the lowest common denominator wins.
In a nutshell, what you just described is correct. Yes, unfortunately. And this is truly a case-by-case, project-by-project, client-by-client basis. Where we as a GC probably hold a little bit of responsibility in that is in our systems and making sure the proper boxes are checked.
And I also feel like when you know that a subcontractor is not going to make a big deal about it, it's something you can conveniently tuck away to the side. You're focused on schedule, you're focused on owners, you're focused on materials, all these things are happening. It's like they'll bug, if I'm the general, right? It's like they'll bug me enough to where this will get handled. But they're not gonna leave the project if I'm a month behind or 6 or 8 weeks behind. You're not gonna cancel a multi-million-dollar contract where you've got, let's say $800,000 worth of material sitting here. You don't wanna bring in that kind of legal burden. And so it's a very interesting kind of it creates a loop where at the end of it, you're forced to ask yourself, well, do I want to break this trust? And do I really want to take it to that next level?
Matt, could you help paint the picture for us of what it looks like in the daily life for a subcontractor and working through these issues?
It's usually, in our experience, it's a minor excuse. Oh yeah, we're processing it. You should have it within a week or two. And then the next time it's within another week or two. Well, coming back to the central thesis of this entire conversation of trust, we as a general contractor now have to go, well, the job's running well. We like the general contractor. We're happy with everything. They're happy with us. Do we really make a big deal about this? So we nudge again. Hey, we wanted to follow up on payment. Where is it? And next thing you know, it's 6, 8, 10 weeks before we're like, hey, this is really a problem. And then it's like, oh yeah, we'll have it for you. We'll have it for you. And then the check shows up. And that cycle tends to, or can very well repeat. The problem is the escalation process. I mean, we've had to get money that we're owed and we've done it, but you go from like, hey, we'd really like to get paid. Oh, we're processing, you should have it within a week or two. Okay, great. And the next step is bringing the legal team, pull off the project, whatever the case may be, but now you've just ruined that relationship. So you're in this very weird situation where we're forced to take on a massive capital burden. I think we're the real banks. I think that, you get funded by a bank, but at the end of the day, it's our money and our risk. And then there's a side effect of that, which is leverage, because a general contractor, I've seen personally, and I know a lot of subcontractors have had the same instance where it's almost like, it's like a treat, a reward. Like, well, if you can do this, I'll make sure it gets processed a little faster. I can probably push that along. It's like, well, but the contract says this. It's like, well, the undertone of that conversation is, well, good luck enforcing it. Do you really want to sink this relationship? And so it's kind of an interesting circle.